What's going on, people? It's your man the YB back once again. Big shout out to my doggy Sean Clues for coming through and boosting up the coin. Respect, General. So we got some breaking news right now regarding Martin Imad Bakole airing out Anthony John Stewart. Now, the topic of where this beef started, you can see the video here we're fixing to play in a second of Bakole firing back. AJ got flown out to Nigeria, and it's been speculated. I think there was actually purse bids called for the IBF. Bakole was supposed to fight Kabayel. Kabayel ducked, although he's fighting Zhang, so it's a duck. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a duck. Zhang ain't got no cardio. I'll tell you who I'd rather fight. It's not Martin Bakole, man. Zhang ain't got no cardio. All you got to do is, if you're in the mix until round 6, you have half a chance. Yeah. What you can do with Bakole? He's big and he might not be the best thing since sliced bread, like some of us think he might be. But he's a harder night, I don't believe. He's never been down, even if you say he quit against Hunter. He's never been down. And he's a big old 300-pound. People, when you've been brought up mining diamonds, do you know what it does to your bones? Strong bones. When you've got that pickaxe at 5 years old, bash on the rock. You see that one there? These bones here, they're all rock hard. Yeah? Licking the rock. You can't play with diamond miners like that. That's what you can't do. Anyway, so AJ got flown out to Nigeria. They questioned him about the fact that Bakole is now ordered, or I'm not even sure if it's been ordered, to be honest. Definitely hasn't been a purse bid. It's been rumoured after Ajit Dukael, after he bottled it and went for Zhang. Pretty sure that they ordered this after. Okay, no, they have ordered it. Where's the purse bids then? So yeah, December 12th, Martin Bakole versus Ajagba is a done deal for IBF elimination. Have agreed to fight in 2025 on a date still to be determined. So I guess maybe we've got another week or so and we're going to find out about this situation. Normally they give them 30 days after when the fight's announced, so that's about the middle of Jan. By the middle of Jan, we'll work out if they've done a deal or if there's some sort of purse bid action. Either way, that's set the scene for you, man, now. 2-2s. AJ had some comments on this fight and said the following. And this is what Bakole got bent out of shape about. Here we go. 2 giants from Africa are coming together to collide. It's going to be an interesting fight. FA is a good boxer, and obviously I'm going to support FA, his Nigerian, even though he doesn't support me. The Jagba was calling out AJ a few years back when AJ was hot, before he fell off. AJ goes on, I'm backing him to beat Bakole because we are from the same place, shilling his base, and I really want to see him do well. Listen, this is Mahatma Gandhi. That's what he's on right now. United Nations. Yeah. Drop the act, AJ. We all saw how you behaved after USIC 2. You don't really... It sounds good. That's what you... He says what he thinks people want to hear. Yeah? What he should have said was, hey man, that FA is a coconut. Yeah? He was on my ass, so he get his ass punched up by the Congolese cat for all I care. That's the truth. That's how AJ really feels, right? He don't really want, oh, I'm from the same place as him. He wants to see his ass get beat. Then again, he probably don't like Martin Bakole either. Either way. Now let's get to Bakole's bars. This guy, but I'm telling you now, yeah, before I even play you the bars, I'm telling you now, Martin, I'm backing you. I'm going to do it now. I'm backing Dubois all the way until he falls off, and I'm backing you all the way with coins. If you bump my coins, and I see you lose on points, there's going to be murders. It won't be me doing it either. I have to bring a stick with me. A big old stick as well. 50 cal stick. That's what it'll be. Yeah. There'll be murders alright, but it won't be no hand-to-hand combat with your big ass, man. It'll be the sticky. You best believe that one. Anywho, here's his bars.
Hey, Anthony Joshua. This video is for you. I call out. I wanted to knock you out. And now you're talking shit to say Ajagba is going to beat me. Shame on you. How many times did I call you out? How many times did I ask you to fight in Africa? You don't even feel shame of yourself. I want to fight you. I want to knock you out. Look at Daniel Dubois, broke his nose twice. He knocked you out cold. What happened to me? I'll knock you out in the first round. You're talking about Ajagba. Ajagba is a baby. Wait, you will see how I'm going to knock him out. I'll invite you to be there. You're talking shit. I want to fight you. Stop talking nonsense. Now you say you're in Nigeria. You're not British anymore. I'll knock you out. I'm African giant. I'm African warrior. I'll knock you out, you. After knocking Ajagba out, I'll knock you out as well.
So you heard there from the undisputed, unified sparring warrior stories. Yeah. Listen, I like the undisputed sparring champion. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like Martin Bakole. Yeah, I really do. People, you tell me who is the. You can't. Oh, Usyk. Usyk is not. Maybe he was undisputed before Dubois did this and Dubois did that and AJ robbed the belt. Whoop-de-whoop. Irrespective, folks. Yeah. Whether Usyk is this or that, Martin Bakole is the undisputed sparringer. How about that? Yeah? You can't mess with him in sparring. He broke Danny Dubois' nose twice. This guy, I don't know, man. Just don't let me down. That's what I'm saying. Listen, you did what you... Listen, if that Jared Anderson fight was something to go by, he's well on track. Yeah? You can't deny that. Anderson's not a punk. Yeah, he went life and death with Charles Martin, which probably wasn't a good look. But still, he wasn't a punk. He could definitely punch. And what we do know for a fact is, Martin Bakole stood right in front of Jared Anderson, and the punches bounced off. That is a fact. Yeah, so you have to believe that Jared Anderson has got Paulie Malignaggi power, I don't think that's fair. As good or as bad Jared Anderson may or may not be, he's a 250-pound man, and he's athletic, and he can whack. Yeah, that's one thing he can whack. His shots were bouncing off. They was bouncing off. Bakole had no respect for them. So there's clearly something there. However, like I've said the last few times, for me the jury's still out on Bakole. He looked good against Takam, but you don't knock no one out. I guess the whole first round stuff is a good shtick, but he don't knock no one out in the first round. No one half decent. It took him 4 rounds. It took him 5 rounds of Kevin Johnston, who's well, super duper washed up. Although Dubois couldn't stop Johnson, but that was another 4 years before that or something like that. Let's have a look actually. Kevin Johnson was a notorious... He'd be able to get in there and not get stopped. I think AJ was probably the first guy to stop him actually. He was probably paid though. Oh, he probably paid, if we're honest with ourselves. Yeah, Vitali couldn't stop him. Fury couldn't stop him. That was 10 years ago though. Chisora couldn't stop him. AJ TKO'd him in 2 rounds. Get out of here, man. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. He was paid. Eddie Hearns, Massa Hearns. He knows how to build a Mandinga fighter, right? So you can't... Vitali couldn't do him. Fury can't punch, but if you just take Vitali. Vitali couldn't do him, but AJ could do it in 2 rounds. Really? Dubois couldn't do him. And Dubois is wicked at fighting bums. If you just stand there and don't fire back, Dubois is all over you. So no one else can stop this guy, but AJ balls him over in 2 rounds. Unlikely, statistically speaking. Even here, 2018, Hrgovic couldn't stop him. This guy don't get stopped by no one, but AJ blows his back out. So yeah, to be fair to Bakole, taking AJ out, AJ's the first man to stop him. That's a fact. Sorry. Bakole was the second man after AJ to stop Kevin Johnson. Obviously, does that mean something, does it not? Oh look, even here, 2021, Caballero couldn't stop him. So after Bakole stopped him, Caballero couldn't stop him. Which we've seen Caballero chewing up on dudes. So that carries some weight. For me, the issue was the Tony Oka fight. Tony Oka was ready to go, and he couldn't finish his dinner. Yeah, he almost got robbed on the cards as well. If you believe the cards, it was a 50-50 life and death fight. I watched it. It wasn't 50-50 life and death, but he was missing... I'm thinking to myself, if Yoka can hang in there with Bakole, you know what I mean? If Yoka could survive, why couldn't Usyk survive? And hence, if Usyk survived, he might end up stinking the place out on points and losing on points. That's what I say to you. I don't want to see Bakole lose on points to Usyk if they were to fight. Or Dubois, to be honest. I don't want to see, oh, I want you got on your back. Because you ain't get put on your back that many times. Dubois never actually been knocked out. He's been stopped. He's never been actually, like, spark on the floor. Or proper, like, neurologically compromised. He's been tired and lost his head. He's never been actually knocked out, ever. Neither is obviously Bakole. Bakole's been stopped and tired. He's never been knocked out. I don't want to see none of these big old oafs here losing to Usyk on points. We've had it 5 times in a row now. AJ, Dubois, Fury, bunch of losers on points. It's not good enough, people. It's really not. Yeah, it's not good enough. Not good enough at all. Yeah, he don't punch hard. That's obvious now. Surely, that's got to be the case. We can all agree to that. He's quick, obviously, but he's quick and doesn't have the power. So you should walk straight through him. And if Bakole can walk straight through Jared Anderson, yes, Usyk's going to be doing a whole bunch of slapping and a whole bunch of moving, but Bakole's like 10 levels above Chisora in size, in power, even in combinations. Chisora he wings his shots and they're big singles. Bakole puts his hands together. I don't see what Usyk can do with Bakole. Bakole will just stand there. He's not going to be dancing around on his toes. He's going to stand right there in front of you. And Usyk's going to have to work so hard. Usyk was working hard against Fury, man. And AJ, he wasn't doing anything. I think we've seen Usyk's level now. Yeah? He can just about compete by a round or two. He's beating these big old useless oafs who don't want to fight. You put him in there with someone who's half got it and wants to fight. Every single fight, they give him the control. Now, the critics say, well, why be Usyk? He earns the control. He's doing someone in there that's turning these guys off. No, they're just soft. That's the truth. Because I've never watched it before. Go back. I've done a whole bunch of research recently. Go back and watch Holyfield fight. There wasn't no matter who he was fighting. Mike Tyson as a 10-1 underdog at the time when he fought Mike, or whoever. Any of them old school fights. It was never a fence off. Even in there with Lennox Lewis, he was never just standing there thinking, oh, Lennox has got the range, and he's straight in there trying to eat something. So I don't believe that. I don't believe Usyk's that good. These guys are shithouses. They've shit themselves. That's what they are. They're not boxers. They're professional shit their pantsers. Yeah, that's the common theme here. Dubois shit his pants. AJ shit his pants. They're all scared to get knocked out. That's what it feels like. And it's not even big shots have to land. Usyk don't throw big shots, in my opinion. They're not big. No, historically, no one will ever get me to believe Usyk is in the top 50 of heavyweight punchers, even the top 100. Don't believe it. In the history of boxing, Usyk ain't nowhere near the top 100 of punchers, ever. And I've seen all the different combinations of matchups with men in there with bigger punches than Usyk, and it's not. I did a video the other day. We watched Holyfield and Tyson, I think it was. And we watched Mitch Green and Tyson. And we watched Holyfield and Burt Cooper on my live stream on Saturday. These guys are in there taking massive shots. And they're either trying to counterpunch off that, or they're standing right there. They're not, Usyk popped my head back with a jab and now I'm going to reset for 5 minutes like Dubois did for the whole fight. AJ was the same, and Fury, he was not much better. It was all about the same. Stinkers. Losers on points. That's what the UK's produced a lot of these days. A bunch of losers on points. Now I've got hope for Dubois. I'm backing Dubois. I'm going down with the shit with Dubois. I'm going down with the shit with Bakole. But if they betray me and don't turn up and talk about, it's his speed and his... Why don't Inoue come up then? Let's get Inoue up there, and you man can complain about his speed and his cardio as well, right? Let's just drag Inoue up, and you can say, Inoue, he's 120 pounds, but he beat my ass on points because he's got cardio. And what's the point being big then? Lose some weight, right? If you're saying the problem is that Usyk's too quick and got too much cardio, you need to come down to 225 and meet him at his weight. Oops. Yeah, bone dry. That's what you need to do. Don't make no excuses about your weight. And AJ and Dubois, they weren't even that much heavier than Usyk. AJ fought Usyk at one point. Anthony Johnston, box rec. AJ fought Usyk at 240. And Usyk was like, what? So he's about a stone heavier, but that's given AJ's lankier or whatever, is longer. That's give or take. It's not a stone. Where is it? So he fought Usyk. Yeah, 240, bang on. and Usyk was 221 at the time. So £20, but that's not, whoa, that's not a, that's pretty, you can't complain about someone being quicker. Well, he was quicker. That wasn't a problem though. Usyk wanted to fight, you didn't want to fight, you wanted to shit your pants. All these 5 cats so far. I think Dubois is going to turn it around. Oh look, even here, look, there's not, I don't know what's going on, people, I don't know what's going on then, look. When Usyk fought Dubois was 233. Essentially only £10 bigger than Usyk, or bigger than Usyk's highs, which is 223. That's mad. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. If Usyk can be conditioned, I guess you can argue, well, genetics and people's cardiovascular system's going to be different, and maybe that's what makes Usyk that good. No, these guys ain't training properly. I've watched it. Training's supposed to have moved on. Yeah? Training's supposed to be where in the 90s and that, they didn't have science and bullshit. That's probably the problem. A lot of these scientists come in and they say, well, you know, you need to rest more. And you need to, don't push it too hard because you need to rest. And at the end of a bunch of bums. A bunch of crybaby bums who are tired all the time. I don't know. Make it make sense. I've seen dudes fight hard, 15, 12 round fights. Hard. With proper shots being thrown. Not the amateur style. Not the pity patty slap 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 style. Proper digging. That's what drains you, you know. When you're in there and you're, wow. Watch them old school man fight. They're proper throwing heavy leather down. There's no faffing around. Very little faffing around. Even with their jabs. This new age, like the jabs, like, I don't know. It's a faff-off jab. It's not I'm trying to put your head in a pike jab, for example. And that transcended the whole game. You can just, the intent they had, bad intentions on their shots. And I'm not trying to suck off the old dudes. I've just watched it, I can tell you now. And when you watch this new age boxing, it's missing that. It's missing that element to it. So if them man back in the 90s here could throw heavy shots over many rounds, why are you, man, blowing your load? Faffing off. I don't know what the answer to that is. All I can tell you is, go out on your back, brother. Yeah? Like the famous, infamous Billy Joe Sausages said. Go out on your back, brother. That's what time it is now for Usyk. I like Usyk. If Usyk can box up Dubois and Bakole coming right at him, he would have earned it at that point. But at this point, it's not his fault, but this is an era full of bums. Bare bums in the shower, honestly. Bare bums in the shower, good for nothing. They're not true warriors. He hasn't beat one true warrior. I've seen Chris Eubank Jr. with his eye like this. Big, massive pork pie for an eye. Fighting on. You, man, AJ had a little mouse here and was like, you can see him in, I forgot what fight it was, number 1 or 2. AJ had a tiny little mouse here and he was going, blinking all the time. Fucking hell, man. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. Your big ass sitting there blinking, giving it away that you hurt me in my eye, I need to blink now so Usyk knows that I'm hurt. Fucking hell, man. I don't ever remember seeing that. I haven't watched every single fight, but I don't ever remember any of them old school man, get popped in the eye and they're like, proper playing on it. I can't understand it. I can't ever remember watching it and thinking, you've hurt Holyfield in his eye because he's blinking and pulling back and standing upright and making a big scene of it. I've never seen that. And he must have been hit in the eye. So there's something going on here that's wrong. Something's not right here. And it's not just Usyk's phenomenal skill, in my opinion. It's the fact these big bums, don't want to get stuck in. I don't care how hard it is. It can't be any harder than everyone else had to do back in the 90s. I think it's easier. I think if you took Usyk back to them old days in the heavyweights, they would lick their lips to get in there with a man who's going to dance around and slap. I don't believe, I'm sorry, I don't believe they respect it. I just don't. I don't believe they respect what Usyk was doing. Sorry. Yeah, just because these big useless oafs respect it, I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, maybe Usyk's the biggest puncher of all time, and that's what we're missing here. That'd make sense, right? If it turns out that Usyk was actually the biggest puncher of all time, okay, I get it now. You're feeling something that no one's ever felt before, but you're not. Yeah, if he was the biggest puncher of all time, he'd knocked all these guys out. Yeah, knocked them proper out. The other one I'm thinking of, Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn's going in there with a pound-for-pound killer at the time. Gerald McLennan gets knocked out the ropes, gagging to get back in there and have a go. Proper fights. You don't see it. Show me in any of them 5 fights, Dubois, AJ 2, Fury 2, where you saw someone that that desperate to win. Yeah? Not even a smidgen of any of that. Not a smidgen of Eubank's pork pie for an eye. Not a smidgen of Nigel Benn punched out of the ring against a pound for pound documented puncher. Nothing of the sort. Not even a bit close. So let me tell you now, Martin Bakole, you go out on your back if you need to. Don't let me see you in there, oh, I lost on points, and oh, his feet was quick. I'm not interested, man. If he was that quick, let him knock you out, trying to win. Same as Dubois. If he's that quick, yeah, get knocked out, spark, trying to win. I don't want to hear no more, well, I got a bit hard and I thought I'll just lose on points, because I've seen enough of that now. I've seen 60, how many rounds? 5 times 12. I've seen 60 rounds of people losing on points to a guy who can't punch, in my opinion. Obviously, if you was in there with Usyk, obviously I'm going to feel it. I'm not a 270-pound heavyweight who's been doing it 25 years. Usyk couldn't punch at his own weight. Yeah, he couldn't punch at his own weight, man. He couldn't punch at his own weight. Yeah? Bradis had a better go than you, man. Little old Bradis had a better go than you, man. Beterbiev, 160-pound soaking wet, had a better go than you, man. How is that possible? Sorry. And you can say, well, they're big and they're tired. You don't even come out. The old school heavyweights, yeah, they'd get tired after like 6 rounds, most of the time. And then it'd end up a bit of a clinch, hug, knackered fest. But the difference is, them first 6 rounds were ferocious. Every shot has nasty intentions on it. They're putting their hands together. So it's almost acceptable. Well, you can't fight at that pace forever. That proper vicious pace. You can't do that forever. We understand falling off after 6 rounds. But these big useless oafs, like Fury, AJ and Dubois, come out against Usyk, yeah, and they're just faffing around, and then they're knackered. You ain't done nothing. AJ had 1 round in the 9th. Out of 24 rounds, he had 1 round and was blowing out of his arse. Yeah? Go in there to get this guy out of there. That's the mentality. Get him out of there. Don't let it drag on. Then you're having a battle of the cardio. Go in there and it's a trade-off as well. The quicker you hurt this guy, the better it is. Because he's not going to have the gas there. And even if he does survive, he's got a good chin and whatever else, he's going to be compromised at that point. Yeah? It's no good coming out and blowing all your load trying to box with him. For the last 5 fights, I've seen these big old, allegedly powerful oafs try and box with him. They've spent their best gas playing his game, winning maybe 2 or 3 rounds of the first 6. Well, he loves that. He can do that for the next 6, and that's what he does. You come out boxing with him and you win 2 or 3 rounds, and then the next 6 you only win 2 rounds. Oops, you lost. Do you know what I mean? You can't play the cardio game with this guy. You have to do him some serious harm. You walk straight into him. And you have to be prepared to take cruiserweight power. I mean, didn't think that was I really didn't think it was that difficult to do, if I'm honest. I understand that there's diminishing returns to power, they say. They say that, well, if you're a 200-pound man, that you punch as hard as a heavyweight. Well, why don't all the cruiserweights come up then and just dominate? Again, Usyk clearly has good skills. He can't punch, though. He can't punch. To be fair to Fury, not to be fair to Fury, Fury's no good, but if Usyk could punch it and knock Fury out, Fury was still on his feet. Wilder can punch more than Usyk, so that debunks that myth. Usyk put him right. Wilder put Fury's spark on his back a few times for 10 seconds once, 9 seconds or whatever it was. Usyk's never done that. Who else has put that other cruiserweight? Cunningham put him right on his back, bowled him over. Yeah, this is the power Usyk's got. So what are these men feeling here? I'm not sure. I can't work it out. I can't work out if it's a Kabbalah scam and they're pushing him, pumping him up. Oh yeah, go in there, you big oafs. No, it's not that, because they are soft. It's not to do with it. I'm not going to blame the Kabbalah for this one. There is a bag of soft men out there right now who don't want to get stuck in and don't want to finish their dinner, which is what you're in this game to do. This is not a faff-off test. Yeah, it's not called faffing off, it's called boxing. Faffing offing. That's how it's looking to me right now, 60 rounds later. That's all I've seen. I haven't seen no consistent, proper, you know what? Let's go now. It's me or you now. That's what it's got to be. I've tried this boxing rubbish for 60 rounds now. This guy's got to get it. I think Dubois has a chance of trying to deliver on that. How successful it will be, I'm backing it at 3-1. More, I actually like Bakole more, if I'm honest. I think Bakole's a nastier piece of work, even if his resume doesn't turn me on completely. He hasn't been given the opportunity, no, though. Who's to say if he was in there with Anthony Johnstua, he wouldn't have done something similar. We do know he has stopped. I mean, it's really the Tony Oka situation. If he'd have filled in Tony Oka, which was only 2 years ago, he couldn't. Yoka was on skates as well, so there are questions there for me. They say styles make fights, but Yoka was like, he was on stilts. Imagine trying to ride rollerblades with a pair of stilts for shoes. he was like that. He was just loose as a goose, and he couldn't finish his dinner. So I don't know. There's a lot of uncertainties. Someone hard though and big will beat Usyk. I've been wrong for 5 times in a row, more or less. So listen, clearly he's proven Usyk knows more than I do in this game. But I have to believe that. I'm sorry, folks. I have to. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this one, people. Stop it.